rated GE. It is suitable for general family viewing.
Na bila shaka ni siku nyingine ya Mfahamu Kiongozi, nikitumai kwamba umekuwa na wiki ya kufana na kwa namna kiona kukaribisha popote pale ulipo, tuandamane hadi tamati ukisikia story na historia viongozi mbalimbali. And today we're going to hear the story yake Archbishop Sapit. Kusikia story na historia yake, najua ni jina ambalo limekuwa kwenye vinywa vya wengi kuhusiana na masuala ya uongozi wa kanisa la ACK. Lakini je, yeye ni nani? Baadhi ya masuala ambayo yamepitia miongoni mwa mengine. Kumbuka kiongozi yeyote ambaye ungependa nizungumze naye kwa 22047. Na bila shaka mimi Liz Mtuko nitazungumza naye. Let me see how it goes. Hi Bishop.
Hello, karibu sana.
How are you?
Very well.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It feels like ages sijakuona.
Yes, ni kweli kabisa.
Umekuwa namna gani?
Nimekuwa shughuli nyingi tu za kanisa. Kanisa hili kianglikana ni kanisa kubwa. Kwa hivyo shughuli zangu ina shika kila pembe ya Kenya, maana natembea katika kila diocese.
Yes.
Kuwapatia mtisha maaskofu wetu, kuunga mkono, kuuma na wao na kuona ile kazi Mungu anawawezesha kufanya.
As I was walking from the gate, I saw a very beautiful house.
Yes.
And I would like to hear hapa ni wapi and how is it?
Nyumba hili, this particular house is called Archbishop Born.
Yes.
Na this building was started in 1940s, the late 1940s.
Yes.
But completed in 1952, and the first occupied this house in 1952.
1952.
His name was Archbishop Bicha, who was the Archbishop of East and Central Africa.
Yeah.
Kenya was in charge of the entire region.
Yeah.
Na kanisa la Kianglikana Kenya basi ili kuwa inaongozwa na askofu katika mahali hapa. Kwa hivyo nyumba hili ni nyumba ya kihistoria sana.
Sasa wewe ni occupant wa namba ngapi?
Mimi sasa ni occupant wa namba 7.
Namba 7.
Kwa wale ambayo ni maaskofu wa Kenya, mimi ni wa 6. Lakini nyumba hili ilimilikiwa kwanza kabisa na askofu mzungu mwenye alikuwa anasimamia East Africa, na basi akaja Festus Olang, akafuatwa na Manase Skuria, David Gitari akakuja, Benjamin Zimbi, Dr. Eliud Wabukala, sasa askofu Jackson Ole Sapit. Ni askofu mkuu wa 6 kwa maaskofu wa Kenya, lakini wa 7 kumiliki katika nchi hii.
7 kumiliki katika nchi hii, lakini wa 6.
Yes,
alright, singe mind ukinipeleka a tour of this house as we hear your story.
Asante sana.
I am so happy to see you. Na ningependa pia uniambie mengi kuhusiana naye na pia kama una familia, baadhi ya mambo mengine.
Asante sana. Basi mimi ni mtu wa familia.
Yes.
Nimeoa mke mmoja, Esther. Na tuna watoto 7 kati yetu, ambayo wa kwanza anaitwa Naomi, anafanya kazi na Equity. Wa pili anaitwa Jacqueline, anafanya kazi na idara moja ya serikali. Na watatu anaitwa Jeremiah, ni kijana huyo, alimaliza chuo kikuu ya Mount Kenya, akaenda South Africa. Passion yake ni ukulima, sasa yuko nyumbani ya kilima. Niko na msichana anaitwa Masi, anasoma JKUAT, mwaka wake wa 4, na tuna vijana wadogo 3, lakini mmoja amemaliza form 4 last year, wawili bado wako form 4 na form 2, na wote wako Alliance High School.
All right, that is a beautiful story. But then ningependa kujua hapa, naona kuna vitu vingi. Where are we?
Sasa hapa ni ofisi yangu ya nyumbani. Na pahali pa kusoma. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia hapa ni library, hii ni personal collection ya vitabu vyangu wakati nilipokuwa nikisoma Uingereza katika University of Reading. nilifanya shahada ya Masters in Social Development and Sustainable Livelihoods. Kwa hivyo nina vitabu ambavyo inaongelelea mambo ya maendeleo ya jamii. Nina vitabu ya uongozi, ukiangalia hapa ni leadership. Kila nikienda kontinenti mbalimbali najaribu kusoma, kujifunza kiongozi kazi yake nani, ni mtu ambayo lazima atoe maono na elekeze watu na aboreshe maisha wale watu ambao wanaongoza.
I would imagine you are a very busy person.
Yes.
Considering the position you are holding today in this country and also in Africa.
Yes.
But then I would like to understand how you manage to you manage your family and leadership, among other key things you do, including political leaders.
Yes. I think what I have learned in my, it's no longer a short span of leadership. I've now been a bishop for the last, first in Kericho for 12.5 years.
Yes.
And this is my 8th year as the Archbishop of the Anglican Church of Kenya. And beside that, I was leading a project and a parish. So I've always grown into that space of leading people, but also becoming responsible. What I have learned over the years is critical to busy life is how do you balance it. So life balance is very, very critical. And balancing life is to have time for yourself, time for your family, time for work, time for friends, but also time for the critical and the core business that you have. And now I have to pick and say, what are the big things? Of course, my family is one of the biggest things. The core business of my work as the Archbishop of the Anglican Church, where I have to give vision, but I learn to delegate. So I pick what nobody else can do and make it my responsibility. Then what I can be able to delegate and have people and teams to be able to do, then I delegate.
That's good of you.
Then I'll have now rescued a bit of my time that I can attend to national engagements, para-church organization, the aspects of the Anglican Church. I'm now the vice chair of what we call CAPA, Council of Anglican Provinces in Africa. I'm the vice chair. So to get time, and I also sit in the Anglican Consultative Council, the global management of the Anglican Church.
Delegate.
Yeah, so I learn how to delegate, and I learn how to also find time. But reading time, I normally carry a book, and I use what is called dead time. Like I'm waiting in an airport. Sometimes I finish a book in one of my longest journeys. I'll read from cover to cover. Or whenever I have any dead time or waiting for somebody.
That's how you feel.
Even when I was waiting for you, I had a book I was reading.
I will see that book when we go to the maybe when you show me the other side. But then, Bishop Ole Sapit, we know you from the leadership space. But where do you come from? How did that contribute to who you are today? How was your background then?
I can say my background was a very disadvantaged background because I was born to a very large family. My father had 11 wives, and my mother was number 7. Then unfortunately, he died when I was 7 years old in 1969. Then my stepbrothers, because I was the only son of my mother, disintegrated the family and sent away those ladies who did not have big boys to protect them. So we became victims. 4 of my stepmothers were sent away. And we went to wander without land, without anything to our name. My mother went back to her parents, but her parents also have died, so she went to her brothers. And they also said their land cannot accommodate us because it was small when they subdivide. But they chose to give us home and raise us up.
Thank you, Bishop. You said this is your office.
Yes.
However, I can see a lot of awards, pictorial bit of it. I don't mind you explaining that to us and also to our viewers to know where we are and what exactly and how you got them.
Yes, the position of an archbishop is a very respected position in the church circles and also in the community and in the nation at large. So a lot of these pictures, some are drawings actually. Some resemble me, some look a little bit funny, like this one. I was given, some are drawn by children in school.
Yeah.
So whenever I visited to schools or to parishes, they give me this.
But you still appreciate.
I still appreciate, and I want to keep them as part of the history because it is given with joy.
Yeah.
So most of these are given to me by dioceses and parishes when I go. Some of those are from Mombasa, Kaloleni. You can see the ships and the doors.
Yes.
Those are from
That's
the coastal
an interesting
region.
One.
Yes.
The one which is shiny.
Yes,
yeah.
or the shiny one.
Yeah.
Yeah, all those are from the coastal region.
Yeah.
Some of these, I am a bishop in ordinary to the Kenya Defence Forces.
No.
And when I visit their installation, like here I was in the coastal region with the Kenya Navy. But I also visited in that time Manda and Boni Forest. Yeah. And I went to pray with our soldiers in the trenches.
We have the privilege.
Yes. So that is from the Navy. This also is again from the CDF, the former CDF. When I visited his office,
Robert Kibochi.
Kibochi gave me his this one, and there's one given by, I don't know where it is, by Mwathethe, also a former CDF, and therefore most of these are given to me when I visit places. So a lot of these trophies, some are from schools. This is from Lenana High School. This again is from the Kenya Police Force. Yes. Yeah. Also, I go and pray with them. Yes. And also encourage them to do the work diligently and do it as they are doing it for God and for Christ. Some, this one is from Ogande Girls in Nyanza. Yeah. When I visited the school and prayed with the students. We have some of those portraits and photographs. These two are during my enthronement in 2016. You can see President Uhuru Kenyatta and the current president when he was deputy. That was at All Saints Cathedral. Yeah. That one is with the current president. He was still the deputy president. Together with that one, but that one I was in Taita, and this one I was with him in one of the parishes in Eldoret. And that was still in my consecration during my enthronement with President Uhuru Kenyatta. Even that other picture, he came to visit World Vision, which I'll tell you the story I have with World Vision. They were opening the World Vision East Africa. Yeah. And World Vision is the one who gave me education. At that very tender age, we'll speak about it. That is the explanation of all these many trophies.
What we are seeing here.
Yes, what you're seeing here.
All right.
Yeah, let me now take you to the chapel to see where we organize even ourselves as a family to pray. Yes. But also where we also invite the community. Yeah. And it's a very historical chapel. Yeah. And we still conduct services. Yeah. Not only for ourselves, but for other people. All right. So this is the chapel space. Wow. And this chapel has a long history, even in the nation of Kenya.
I would be happy when you're here, because you're the bishop. Yes. You are the Archbishop.
You can see it's a fully fledged chapel. This is where I place my Bible when I'm preaching or teaching. During COVID, it was very, very helpful. This is where I was projecting my sermons, which will be aired in the cathedral. Yes. And people will think I'm in the cathedral because of the stonework. I'll be standing here preaching, but the sermon is being aired at All Saints Cathedral and to the rest of the nation. And it became so handy. But this chapel also was very, very historical and instrumental, even in the onset and foundation of this country. This was part of State House during colonial times. The governor who lived in State House used to walk. The State House Road used not to be there, so it was still part of the same compound, and he will walk to this chapel for prayers, but also for guidance and counseling, and with the Archbishop then, whose name was Archbishop Bicha. Bicha was credited in this country for the education reforms, and we still have the Bicha report in the archives of Kenya, which gave us an opportunity to see how we can reform education sector in the 50s as we are gearing towards independence. But I'm also told it was in this chapel that the governor and the Archbishop met to pray for Kenya during emergency, and they realized at this space that it's no longer attainable to colonize Kenya. And a decision was made here that they must write to England to suggest that Kenya has to be given freedom. They cannot sustain the Mama War and the African agitation for independence. So this is a very, very historical space, and we thank God. The whole of this house is now protected by the National Museums as a heritage for this country. So we don't tamper with anything. If you see anything here, it is the original.
The way it was from then.
These crosses are the original. This pulpit was there in the 50s. The tables were there in the 50s. The pews were there in the 50s. Those two chairs were still the same chairs which Beecher used.
You are not allowed to change anything.
We are not allowed to change anything. And we preserve it and we protect it the way it has been. Even the lighting, you see, it is lit like candles. And it was designed this way from the 50s. If you see this metal work, it is still the same metal work of the 50s. What we changed time and again are the bulbs, but anything else remains intact, including this shape, outward shape of the bulb.
As a family, are there times you come and connect?
Oh yes, this is where we congregate as family for our evening prayers. I come personally here to pray whenever, even when situations are hard, I used to sit here and pray for the country.
What are some other activities which take place in this space?
Yeah, we have also prayed for national leaders here who have come seeking for prayers and, are sitting with the Archbishop. And as we discuss about, pressing issues in the nation.
Yes.
Prayed for, the former president came here during the time of my predecessor, Mwai Kibaki. Mudi Awori used to come here.
Yes.
We have also prayed with the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yeah.
People like Matiang'i or
the former Interior Cabinet Secretary.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and just as a matter of, having a moment with God, even when we are praying for national issues and the nation.
Yes.
Because the office of the Archbishop is to pray for the country at large. We are concerned about stability, concerned about prosperity of the nation, and that we have a nation that fears God.
How about this beautiful garden?
This beautiful garden, whenever we have any function, we have utilized it in many ways. Like when I connected to, weddings in this chapel, and people use this space as a reception. So decorations happen here. People come out and we have a eating and then a celebration. We have also met in this garden with the youth every year. They come, the Anglican youth of my diocese, to see the Archbishop every December. And we have an evening party with them. They will be dancing here. And, they will want to hear what the Archbishop has for the young people. And the counsel and guidance. I invite other leaders to come and speak to them.
That has been a journey. You've led the ACK Church for the longest time, and in a manner which is admirable. However, there is this great moment when you were ordained the 6th Archbishop of ACK. Can you take us through that? Because I know there were a lot of politics, and you got it, and here you are today.
My journey into the ordained ministry date back to 1989, when the pastor in Narok came and told me, I want you to be the first Maasai clergy in Narok County, because there was nobody else. There was no other Maasai clergy from Narok County. We had some in Kajiado and some in Samburu. And I did not understand what it means to be a pastor. So I struggled with him for months. When I accepted, I went to Berea Theological College. I finished, I was ordained. Then I came to St. Paul's, I finished. Then I was sent to Transmara. When I was in Transmara, some of these things, prediction comes. We had a team of TFN who were supporting a project I was leading, and we were asking ourselves, what is good development? Because many organizations have poured a lot of money into development, but no change is seen with the people. The project closes, people are still the same. So we said, good development is what one that resonate with the history of our people, that appreciate their journey, but also that allow people to be the ones to drive what they want to call development their way, so that we are not prescribing, we are addressing a felt need from the community. So we designed a project that does that. And when I delivered for 5 years, they came and they evaluated, they found it was very good. So one of those team leaders, one time as we were just playing around, said, you know, this Muchungaji one day will become the Archbishop of Kenya. So I did not know. I said, I will not even become a bishop. I have no dream in that direction. Yes. I draw my joy by supporting communities to become full self-sustaining, to know God, yes, and to lead their lives in a normal way. But I did not know. But when they gave me a scholarship to go to UK to do proper development studies, because they said they want to make me study, I went and I finished my master's. I came and the Bishop of Nakuru said, I don't want to see you in development. I've seen your ability in leadership. I want you to lead this diocese with me. So he appointed me as his suffragan bishop. And then later on in 2008, when we had the height of the post-election violence, I was made the first bishop of the Diocese of Kericho, that covers Kericho, Narok, and Bomet counties. Yes. I led that diocese. I grew it from nothing, just 8 parishes. And by the time I was living in 2016, it was a fully fledged diocese with 26 parishes. And we have developed, programs for the community. We are the Farmers Field School. We are running private schools, about 4 of them. And we are doing now the community development projects and empowerment alongside the pastoral ministry. And by that time, I was also the chairman of the Anglican Development Services, the whole country, yes, even when I was Bishop of Kericho. Yes. So when the time came now for people to look for the next Archbishop, I did not begin by floating my name. I had a candidate in mind. And we approached one of our bishops and said, you are our candidate. We want to see you there. Yes. And some people are telling me, but it is you we are seeing. Yes.
You're not seeing any other person.
We are not seeing any other person. But I thought I have no chance. If I looked at the Electoral College, which is about 200 people, 5 parish dioceses, we only had 9 Maasais in the entire Electoral College of 200 people. So I said, with the Kenyan way of supporting people regionally, yes, and from our own communities, I have no chance. So I never entertained the idea.
Unfortunately, the chance found you. And
yes,
here you are.
Yes. So what happened is that the person we were supporting was caught up by age. Because to be an archbishop or a bishop in the Anglican Church, you must be under 60 years of age. So
the person you wanted.
Yes, he hit his 60th birthday, yes, when the process has not yet begun. Yes. So now he comes and says, now I have no chance. You have been saying it was me. Now I turn to you. You are our candidate. So a number of them now began to call me, and bishops, and I was giving them excuses. I'm growing a very thriving diocese. It's just taking off. Don't get me out of it. And I remember one bishop was telling me, Kericho should not be like the eggs you are laying, which cannot be hatched when you leave. Yes. Let God lay her own eggs. He can hatch his way. Yes. You proceed, because that is where we want to see you.
It was a beautiful ceremony, I remember.
Yes. But it was through an election. We were 6 candidates, and the election happened, and we do it by elimination. The first round of voting, the person with the least votes is eliminated. And then the second one and third one, and until 2 remain, and nobody is going to be announced until you attain 2/3, or by the 3rd voting, yes, you have a simple majority.
Yes,
so I was elected.
I know also in the election of this country, there have been a lot of wrangles, and you've reconciled the leaders not once, not twice. Yes. What are some of these leaders, especially former President Uhuru Kenyatta? You seemed to be very close. What are some of the best moments in 1 minute, best moments with them?
Actually, I cannot say I have a very like very personal and close relation to any of our national leaders, but I keep a very good distance that I'm accessible, but also I am not completely entangled with matters of the state. Yeah. So I normally know my boundaries.
Yes.
But I started with the former president during the doctor strike. You know, when the doctors strike for over 100 days
yes.
in this country, I was just newly appointed.
Yes.
And so I said, how can Kenyans continue to suffer when we are leaders and we are here? So I called the doctors one afternoon and I said, can I meet with you and listen to your story?
Yes.
So I called them and they told me their story, where they are coming from. And I said, if we can step out as a church to mediate between you and the government,
yes.
will you be willing?
Yes.
They said, we are willing.
Yes.
So I called Cardinal Njue of the Catholic then,
yes.
and I also called the head of our PCA. That time it was Moderator Mwamba,
yes.
and we met these doctors at ACK guest house.
Yes.
So when we met them at the ACK guest house, we listened to their story.
Yes.
And we said, let's try, and also Alfred Rotich yes. of the Catholic Church. We said, can we try and call State House to see whether they can open for us a mediation role, you know,
we
opportunity.
We have a beautiful garden here.
Yes, we have a beautiful garden, and we have just planted trees recently.
Yes.
When I was commemorating my 59th birthday, we planted 59 trees. So all the young trees were a commemoration of my, because I'm passionate about the environment. So when we called, we are surprised that we called at around 11 in the morning, and we are told by 3 the president is ready to listen to you. So we were all congregating together. We were still, you know, in shock. How can we get an appointment in such a short notice? But we drove all of us and the doctors to State House. We began the conversation. It was very, very tedious and very hard because they were not agreeing anything. The government was not agreeing to calm down, and the doctors were not agreeing to calm down. And we realized, you know, when we are almost sealing the deal, doctors are called by other activists and they change. So we kept on changing goal steps. But that made us build trust, and we also build trust with the president, and we build trust with everybody.
Yes.
Remember, after that, we reconciled the doctors, now came in the competition for 2017.
Yes. And you were...
And when that competition comes, it was very, very, very tough yes. and very divisive.
Yes.
And again, I brought the Archbishop of Canterbury. We were able to visit Raila Odinga and visit the president.
And you kept that.
We kept that until we saw them. Without our influence or knowledge, we just saw them shake hands at Harambee House.
We thank God
it was an answered prayer, and we began journeying, having a country at peace.
Yes.
Even in the last election, we still have to journey, both with the President Uhuru Kenyatta, Raila Odinga, and now the president-elect then, now the current president, to make sure that that process of transition is delivered and there is peace. And we thank God that...
I know you were caught in a moment where you prayed for the current president.
Yes.
He was president-elect then.
Yes, yes.
And during the announcements or the announcement of the results at Bomas, is it something you were aware of, or it's something which happened by chance? Because I know Kenyans have been waiting to hear this.
Yes, but I've already said in the media one time. Actually, for us, we just offered ourselves to go and pray for Kenya at this transition period. We saw Bomas being prepared, and we saw the preparation underway, and we called to say, can we come in and offer prayers before any announcement? And the IEBC allowed us to come in, and we drove into Bomas, and now the fracas happened. We were not aware ourselves who was going to be announced. You know, it was at that moment after the fracas, and when we came back and everything settled, and we had a beautiful choir that was singing all through, that we saw even the entirety of the people in Bomas. I don't know where they changed, and everything turned yellow. You
were bashed so much about this. Do you regret about it?
No, I don't regret, because I was there to pray for the nation. Even if it was Raila who won, I was still there to pray for the nation.
Archbishop, I know my time is up, but I would like to ask these questions. Which is your favorite day?
Monday.
Which is your favorite meal?
Mbuzi choma.
Favorite Bible verse?
Jeremiah 29:11.
For I know the plans I have for you, says God.
Yes, yes.
If I was to find you somewhere randomly, where could that be?
Either reading or herding my cattle.
Your favorite song?
My favorite song, More About Jesus.
More about Jesus.
Would I know.
I know that song. Thank you so much for allowing me to get that.
Yes.
Again, which is your last word in this show?
My last word is that God has given us opportunity to thrive and grow in life. Let us be focused. Let us see, every day counts, what I do today. And the decision we make on a daily basis affect our tomorrow either negatively or positively, depending on the decision we make. Let us choose to make the right decision to make tomorrow better.
Thank you so much for allowing me to hear your story and also our viewers here in TV47. Thank you so much. Again, it has been Mfahamu Kiongozi, where we definitely get to hear stories from different leaders across the nation and even outside the nation. And today, that has been his story. Again, the other Thursday, tutakuwa katika Mfahamu mwingine, tukimfahamu kiongozi mwingine. My name is Elizabeth Mutuku. Keep it TV47. Na safari hii katika Mfahamu Kiongozi tutakuletea viongozi aina mbalimbali.
Nikuwe na Nisani kama 10 na pia nikuwe menua minibus. Minibus nikoniwa.
Kushinda unaangalia simu ya mzee. Soma Biblia ama ingia kwa washroom ujisugue mpaka nimetoa hivi.
I don't know whether any of my children would want to get into the political field. Sijajua bado.
Kila Alhamisi saa 1:30 kuendelea.